voice their views on the result. It was an utterly amazing. This highly anticipated interim lightweight championship battle between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje just wrapped up, delivering another epic chapter to the UFC's legendary lightweight scene. The MMA community went wild with reactions as fighters across multiple weight classes weighed in to triumph and celebrate. Go on. What an incredible fight, an absolute war. You've got to savor this moment. Appreciate what you just witnessed. I truly wish to finish. This was clearly the main event we deserved. It delivered with pure violence. Just share your reaction to Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett going the full 5 rounds. Absolutely. What a pair. Paddy kept saying he was gonna knock this guy out cold tomorrow. I found that pretty bold, and he stuck to that game plan completely. Even after getting dropped multiple times, I kept waiting for him to adjust. I thought eventually he'd have to shoot for a takedown and hunt for a submission. Honestly, I had no clue Paddy Pimblett possessed such an iron jaw until tonight. What a savage firefight. Massive respect to both warriors. We haven't caught up with Justin yet, so his condition remains unknown. But does the interim champion need the unification fight immediately? What happens if he's banged up and needs recovery time? Apparently, he's doing great. We rushed Paddy Pimblett straight to the medical facility, and we'll be sending Gaethje for evaluation too. But Gaethje told us, "Believe me, I've survived plenty of wars. I'm good to go." From everything we're hearing right now, he seems healthy. Dana, I remember when Paddy first signed with the UFC, you said things like his walkout is entertaining, it's cool to connect with fans, but he needs to actually perform. We've obviously watched him rack up solid wins before, but after showing that kind of heart tonight, do you think despite losing, he'll still be viewed as elite in this division moving forward? Absolutely no doubt about it. He came in as the betting favorite tonight. I think that actually hurt him. Every previous fight, he's been the underdog. Everyone expects him to fall short. Tonight, he's favored to win. I don't think his approach was optimal, but tonight he proved he's got serious grit. He can take punishment, especially against Gaethje, and you're eating those bombs from him. It's one thing to say, look, I'm gonna stand and bang, I believe in my durability, I believe in my chin, and I'll trade shots with this monster. But when that strategy starts backfiring, at some point, you need to adapt. You know what? This is round 3. I've got 2 more rounds left. Maybe I should try dragging him down and hunting for a finish on the ground.
Leaning towards Justin.
You're one of the few that I've heard say that. Can you tell us why?
I just think he's been in those 25-minute fights. He's been in dog fights before. I think Paddy's going to have a tough time stopping him on the feet, and I don't think Paddy's going to be able to get him down, so he's going to have to fight with him. Unless Paddy can stay super disciplined for 25 minutes, stay a distance, pick his shots. Justin's just a bigger puncher, and he'll put himself in harm's way to land one of those shots. And it's tough to stay away from it for 25 minutes.
Do you think that the UFC wants Paddy to win?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, because Justin's talking about retirement, and Paddy's still young, and They can continue to build him. There's a bunch of fights we haven't seen with Paddy. So it's more marketable if Paddy wins.
And so how do you see it playing out?
I think Justin stops him.
He kept talking about how my face wouldn't look the same after we fought. After the fight ended, his face would look identical, so when it was over, I said, well, check out your face now, buddy. It definitely doesn't look the same. For him to understand, and he's gonna grow from this experience, you can't carry that attitude when you compete. He has to be different. He needs to prepare for the worst case scenario, and that's how you deliver peak performance when pressure mounts highest. You must understand these lessons. His mentality entering that battle was terrible. That's not how you can approach it. You can't operate like that. False confidence is poison. Absolute poison. It destroys you consistently, and that's exactly what he carried. He'll grow from the leading up to this massive showdown. The professional fighting community remained deeply divided on how this style matchup would unfold. Veteran competitors and current champions alike shared their predictions, creating a fascinating narrative of contrasting content. Dustin Poirier offered an assessment that shocked many observers given the betting landscape at the time. The former lightweight king pointed to Gaethje's extensive championship round experience as potentially decisive when fatigue and mental exhaustion set in. Gaethje had survived countless brutal battles extending deep into championship rounds, accumulating wisdom about pacing and stamina that couldn't be replicated through training camp preparation alone. Poirier questioned whether Pimblett could successfully control distance during striking exchanges or defend takedowns against someone with Gaethje's wrestling pedigree and defensive awareness. This created what he saw as a problematic scenario where Pimblett would likely get forced into extended striking battles despite his preferred strategy. The real challenge for Pimblett became maintaining composure and discipline throughout 25 minutes.
Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje, who do you favor in that fight?
I gotta go with Gaethje. I feel like he's the one that loves to like get down and throw fist for fist, and he's also got the Division I wrestling to negate some of the biggest skill sets of Paddy. Paddy's like a very dominant grappler when it comes to submissions. I think Gaethje has the tools to keep it where.
This is absolutely insane, just incredible. Faber echoed similar reasoning while supporting Gaethje for the victory. The former WEC champion saw Gaethje as someone who genuinely thrived in chaotic firefights, displaying complete willingness to absorb damage to deliver his own punishment. Faber acknowledged a real danger from Pimblett's submission skills, but believed that Gaethje's Division I wrestling background provided sufficient defensive tools for navigating grappling situations safely.
Boxing. Don't get pulled into chaos. Don't get pulled into...
Bilal Muhammad spent extensive time on his YouTube platform breaking down this particular matchup, eventually throwing his complete support behind Gaethje. The former welterweight champion focused heavily on Pimblett's defensive vulnerabilities during striking exchanges and his tendency to absorb unnecessary punishment. These flaws became exponentially more dangerous when facing an opponent who possessed Gaethje's combination of finishing power and relentless forward pressure. Muhammad predicted these defensive lapses would prove catastrophic, directly resulting in Gaethje's hand being raised victoriously.
What he can do better, right? I think on the feet, Justin, you have a really big advantage. And if you're patient, you're smart.
Wrestling and grappling and showing your skills.
I think you got to create chaos. You got to wrestle with college wrestling accolades. This isn't college wrestling. This is UFC. This is fighting. This is punches. This is grappling. This is everything involved. So if I'm Paddy, I'm going to shoot in early and you guys are both dry. That's where it comes. We've seen guys
grab a low kick, then launch from it.
Get pressured. We don't want to get hit by him. He's one of the hardest hitters. I think you will have a big advantage if it gets into those hard grappling exchanges. And especially if you get multiple takedowns on him. You're able to mount to them. And you say you want to do the same thing with Justin. Let's put that plan to action. My pick, I think I'm going to go with Justin. Clean his last two victories. Justin kind of like boxes, kind of like Jared. Clean, he likes dirt.
Oxink. Just really tough.
I'm going to pick Justin in this one. I don't know if he knocks him out or finishes him. I do think it kind of would be a decision. Going on the Tony Ferguson type fight because Paddy's tough.
Handle it just like your approach against Tony's fight.
Fun fight. I'm going to go with Paddy, you know what I mean? There's been a couple of times where I thought Paddy's had big tests in front of him and he's passed them. And, you know, he showed me in his last fight he can really stick to a game plan. And he's going to need that with a Gaethje. So I'm going to go with Paddy.
Difficult to remove. Make no mistake, it's not easy to defeat. However, several top voices broke from this consensus. Looking at the fight from a completely different angle, Alexander Volkanovski approached this bout with an alternative perspective as the contest rapidly approached. The former featherweight champion predicted Pimblett would emerge victorious and claim interim title glory. His logic centered on what he consistently observed from Pimblett when facing significant challenges throughout his promotional journey, repeatedly when analysts expressed serious doubts before important fights. The Liverpool fighter responded by flawlessly executing his strategy and silencing critics. Volkanovski particularly highlighted Pimblett's recent performance against Chandler as definitive proof of his ability to stick to established game plans under immense pressure. That particular skill would prove absolutely vital when facing an opponent as dangerous and aggressive.
I don't know, dude. I'm kind of leaning towards Paddy. But the way he does get hit with left hooks, he looks so good against Michael Chandler. Paddy's got a lot of ways to win.
He's a scouser.
He's a scouser. Scousers don't get knocked out, you mushroom.
He KO'd Dustin with a head kick too. The fight
Gaethje,
before the Max Holloway one, which is pretty impressive.
True. So who we got, Matt?
Probably Paddy, rear naked.
I think, Paddy RNC.
Down in the deep.
O'Malley bucked conventional wisdom by strongly supporting Pimblett to capture interim championship hardware. The bantamweight champion viewed this as an ideal stylistic matchup for the British grappler to solve. O'Malley predicted Pimblett would find an opportunity during the second frame and capitalize with a rear naked choke finish. This demonstrated tremendous confidence in Pimblett's ground skills and his combat intelligence for recognizing when opponents weakened during chaotic exchanges. O'Malley believed those finishing instincts would prove decisive when everything was on the line.
Champion basically means the #1 contender. But if Paddy can pull it off, unbelievable. That'll be 4 champs, 2 interims and 2 legit, well 3 legit now with Tom being promoted from the UK that have become champions. And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now he gets to go up against Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power. But underestimate Paddy at your peril. That's all I'll say about that one, but that is a phenomenal.
Bisping threw his support behind the same pick, backing the British challenger, while emphasizing Pimblett's complete skill set as a major advantage. The former middleweight champion also mentioned that famous Liverpool toughness, a fundamental part of Pimblett's fighting identity, while acknowledging Gaethje's reputation as one of mixed martial arts' most dangerous finishers. Bisping felt Pimblett would find his path to victory by smoothly transitioning from striking to grappling when situations demanded. This adaptability, capable of completely changing the fight's momentum, represented a tool that could totally transform the engagement's dynamic, giving Pimblett whatever he needed, whether escaping dangerous positions or implementing his own strategy. His ability to threaten through multiple phases forced opponents into difficult decisions about where to commit their defensive resources and attention. What's your take on this war? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. If this content hit the mark, smash that like button and subscribe for more MMA coverage just like this.